Hey everybody, Big Mike here, giving you all a warm welcome for today's Eagles Den at USA Crypto Group. Today we have 3 projects presenting, and each will have 5 to 10 minutes to give their best elevator pitch to our community. I'd like to remind everybody that this is never financial advice and for educational purposes only. With that being said, I'd like to welcome our first project, Bear Punk. Phil will be speaking on that today. Good to see you, Phil. Always glad to have you back here, and the floor is yours.
Good to see you, Mike, and good to see you, USA Crypto community. Also, the other project founders, very appreciated. Looking forward to learn about your projects as well. Like I said initially, sadly, I got a little bit sick, so I'm not that high energetic like I'm regularly are, but I hope that you can still understand me and that you can follow the presentation for Beer Pong. So what is Beer Pong? Beer Pong is a project basically from my German network. That's why I'm also here speaking for them. These are German project owners. They might sometimes reach their capabilities in terms of speaking English, and that's why I'm jumping in today. And I know them for quite some time. They are docs individuals in the space, which also brings me to my first point. We're talking about a KYC audited and also partially doxed team. They are currently running their Gempad pre-sale for their first token, the Beer Pong token, because there is also a second token to it that I will later on explain to you guys and girls listening. Let's focus on the Beer Pong token first. There is currently a pre-sale running, made it to soft cap. They're pushing it around 40 BNB right now. Obviously, it will launch on PancakeSwap since we're speaking about BNB. And the launch of the project will actually be tomorrow. So exciting days ahead for the Beer Pong team. They did a lot of work. Initially, they had quite a hard time reaching their soft cap, but since they reached their soft cap, they are doing just quite nice. The community is forming, so you can definitely check it out. Like being said by Mike before, obviously this is not financial advice, but at the same time, give projects the chance to shine. Join their Telegram group, get a feeling for it. Join their Twitter page, leave a like there to stay informed. And yeah, now I have some facts for you about the Beer Pong. So the core components of the project is that you will have a play to earn aspect to it. Basically, the project tries to combine the world of beer pong games with the dynamics of cryptocurrency. And they offer a play to earn and play to burn mechanism supported by a comprehensive online shop. The core components are the beer pong app, the online shop, the free beer token, and Telegram mini games. So we all saw the recent hype about Telegram mini games. You can reach a huge audience with their help, and that's what they want to leverage as well. And they want to advertise on their Telegram mini game, which also will help them to build a treasury, build project funds. Then they have the free beer token. The free beer token rewards the community and is distributed free of charge to all token holders via a bot in the Telegram groups. If you want to get some free beer, then you should definitely join the Telegram group and also interact with their bot. The next thing that they have in plan is an online shop, and there they will sell beer pong products with 15% of the profits used for buyback and burn, and the beer pong app with several game modes, tournaments, play to earn and play to burn. And also a portion of the fees collected from the tournaments will be burned and the rest is distributed to the winners. So why did they decide to go with this beer pong trending? I actually hope that a lot of you guys followed this beverage trend that we had recently. We had the beer token pumping hugely, was a German team behind it. We had several other token projects that hopped on the hype of beverages and made it work. And in my opinion, I have pretty great memories to my time playing beer pong. It might have been some time, but at the same time, I will never forget the fun that I had. And I recently just played another round at a party that I visited. When it comes to tokenomics, they are straightforward. 65% are for the private sale, public sale, earn and burn feature, and the liquidity. They have 7% of the team token. Vesting period, obviously in place. and the vesting is 3 months locked and 20%, and the remaining 80% over the next 8 months. So you get a feeling for the vision behind. They definitely want to run it long term. 3 months cliff initially, quite a strong sign from the team that they actually, wanting to build it. And then they have another 20% for marketing and listings. And you need some tokens to do airdrops. You need some tokens for rewards, for marketing. But also here, there is a vesting. 10% of these tokens, 10% of these 20%, they will get on launch, and the remaining 90% will be vested over 9 months as well. They have 8% development token. This will support the technical development of the Beer Pong app, online shop, and also the blockchain integration. They have another vesting schedule for that. So 30% on launch, 70% over 7 months. Basically, they're always taking like 10% of that certain allocation per month, and whatever that they decided initially with the cliff, you can kind of subtract for that. When we talk about BSC tokens, we always have to obviously talk about tax. It's also a tax token, 5% tax on buy and sells. 2% goes to auto liquidity, and 3% goes to marketing to sustain operation. And I think that's basically already a few of the hard facts that I can give you. Let's quickly check together the roadmap that they built. So obviously in Q2 2024, they started with the planning and the preparation. First idea was developed, white paper was released, market analysis, and also the cost calculations that they needed. And then they had an internal funding round, very small funding round, to get initial funds in. And then they started the building and development of the Beer Pong online store. Now in Q3, the launch and the development will happen. So they did a private sale with a selected group of investors. They did it over 1 month to distribute Beer Pong tokens to the community. The listing of the Beer Pong token on the decentralized exchange PancakeSwap will happen on the 21st of July in 2024 at 6 p.m. UTC. So definitely keep that date in mind and don't miss out. There should also be a timer being prepared in the Telegram room, and I want to stress that once again. Join the Telegram group, have some fun with the team, get a feeling for them. A lot of times you invest into individuals and not just into the project itself. And I know these guys for quite some time, super happy with them. They did several AMAs in our community as well. So yeah, definitely worth checking out. They will push the overall international marketing in the next few days upcoming, because for now they heavily targeted the German-speaking region, which makes a lot of sense since they are located in that region and they have strong backing from that region. They also together run a crypto community for some time. I don't know how long they are around, but it's quite some time already. So yeah, they have quite a good network in the German community. In Q4 upcoming this year, they will complete the app development and prepare for the app launch. Obviously, they want to run community events, just as you know it from every single meme token. I don't need to talk too much about the general meme approach. Obviously, there will be competitions, there will be shilling together, there will be community events where you can win prizes, AMAs, everything that you are used to being provided in a meme token. And at the same time, a little bit more than that, because obviously they're working on utilities. They have a very unique concept of these two tokens. One of them is free, one of them you can buy currently on the Genpad pre-sale. And later on, they will also add liquidity to this free beer token, so it will be tradable as well. And you can basically, get your profits out of the free beer that you're collecting right now. Long-term vision is to basically scale it to grow holder numbers, to achieve these listings on CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, potentially, you never know, centralized exchange listings, do further marketing events with press releases, YouTubers, also targeting other kind of social medias. For example, for the beer token, what worked out very well for them was promoting on Instagram. I don't know. Never heard of it before that people were promoting their tokens on Instagram, but these Germans they went wild on it, and you saw a lot of newbies in these communities. So always worth checking out creative sources of marketing, and that's what the team plans to do next. Obviously, also eyeing the international space more and more, doing the bread and butter like AMAs, pin posts in different kind of communities, shilling on Twitter. I think we got that already. So in the very long term, what they plan to do is to position the brand at various sports events. They want to target sports events and also the spring festivals, music festivals, to meet their core audience. It suits quite well with the age group, and also at least in my regular festival visits, I had at least one beer, maybe a few more. And if there would have been the opportunity to play some game of beer pong, I wouldn't have missed out on it. So you see that they are actually trying to pull this off as a business long term, short term. It's the start. It's slowly getting going. They will launch tomorrow, so there's a lot to do anyway. But in the long run, they already have a plan together that they want to pull off. And yeah, let me just briefly check if there is any more information that I can provide to you, because the team obviously prepared me very well to this AMA. They got me a great write-up with all the facts on the project. What you should remember is that it's a reward-based project, play to earn, exclusive NFTs. There will be leaderboards. They have the free beer token that you can already mine right now. Telegram minigame is coming, so check that out as well. And now they want to do some more partnerships with influencers, do co-branding products, event sponsorships, but this is kind of like a long-term vision. Guys, thank you so much for having me on your stage, letting me present the beer pong token, and I hope that a few of you check it out. Might be quite a nice community to be part of. So thank you very much, and that's it from my side.
Thank you for that presentation there, Phil. Man, I can remember some good old days of beer pong with myself in the youth. I used to play that quite often on the weekends. I can remember that being in a buddy's basement, having like 30, 40 people over, and beer pong nonstop. I can definitely relate to that. So let's see. Going into the private sale here, Phil, what was raised on the private sale?
What do you mean? What was raised on the private sale? Not a lot. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was under 10 BNB. But if you're hearing this right now, Patrick, then you can let me know in DMs, because he should be in the room as well. I think it was below 10 BNB. Let's see what he is texting me. Definitely not a lot.
Okay, I see the sale over on GenPad. Yeah.
10 BNB it was. So I was correct
BNB.
on that.
Perfect. And you got, looks like just over 38 BNB on the public sale, which tokens will be released, which, let's see, tomorrow. So this sale just ended today, actually. All right. Pretty interesting. Now you got the start of the app development. How far along is the app? I know you're looking to complete it in Q4. Are you on track? Are you guys on track for completing it in Q4?
I assume so. At least that's what I'm used to with this team. You know, Mike, there is a long backstory actually to the beer pong team and how it came together. I don't want to go into details now, but they behaved very professional in the past, and a few of the listeners should know. It will take around 2 months. He just texted me, so they're all ready to hold their timelines with the app as well.
Oh, very good. Awesome. And the little pop-up stores, looking at well-known festivals. Has there been any festivals that you've popped up the little store yet?
So from how I understood it, this is the long-term vision of brand positioning. Right now, they are focusing solo on the online campaigns that they're doing. And in the long run, they want to position the brand at like bigger festivals. The funny thing is, I used to run Austria's biggest festivals in the past for the rock and metal industry, and I can tell you it costs quite some money to position your brand there. So I think BNB won't be significant. They need to save up a little bit to make it happen. But it's a nice vision, and it shows that they want to have that real world engagement and not just stay online.
100%. Well said. Let's talk about the game a little bit here, Phil. Could you give me a little bit on the specifics? You got play to earn and play to burn. What's the game style like? Are we going to be these little characters I see here on the website playing beer pong, as a sense?
Exactly, and they have a very unique feature to it. It's not only play to earn, what everybody knows, it's also play to burn. And Patrick also just is texting me. It's about beer pong, obviously. That's why the project is called Beer Pong. Also, quite smart branding. We saw Bonk, we saw beer. It's a nice combination of two brands. And then you have that play to earn, or in their case, play to burn trend to add on top of it that has been huge in the last run. I don't know how the industry is doing these days in terms of play to earn, but I could definitely see that niche come back. And I hope that they can leverage this new system that they implemented there.
Very good. Okay. That's pretty straightforward here, Phil. I'm just going to ask you one last question here. If you had to choose one thing that would bring the investors most value in the project, what would you say that would be?
In my opinion, it's always the management team. You can have the greatest idea if you're just lazy, if you don't really want it, if you're not willing to put in the footwork. You won't succeed in this market. This market is heavily competitive these days. It had been different in the past, and I enjoyed the early days where you could basically buy everything and everything mooned, but it's not like that anymore. And for me, I highly pick my investments depending on the team. I look into these people. Are they honest? Are they straightforward? Do they have a vision behind it? How much time did they also allocate to the project yet? How are they behaving with their communities? So you get the point. Do your own research, look into the team heavily, and you will see that these are people that are in the space for quite some time. They run communities. They're just crypto folks like me and you, and they want to get started with a very, let's say, reasonable project, 10 BNB private sale, 30 BNB public pre-sale. So there is a lot of room for growth. Will it grow? We don't know yet, but you can check it out tomorrow. Stay updated in the Telegram and leave a like on Twitter.
Awesome. Very good. Well, Phil, always good to see you as well. Nice chatting with you. And one last thing I'm going to ask for you is to scroll through the participants here, grab one lucky winner, and send that over to me in a private chat as well. They're going to be awarded some cash today as well.
So just one random person?
Yep, from the participants.
Okay, I will do that. Beside that, thank you very much, gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here, like always. Looking forward to return as well. I hope next time we have more time. And now I don't want to take any more time away from the other project speaking today. Guys, have a lot of fun and enjoy the show together with USA Crypto. This was Phil for today. Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Phil. Bye-bye. All right, very good. Next up on the list, we have Technic AI. Let's see, I got you unmuted here.
I'm here. I'm speaking on behalf of Technic AI. How are you?
Doing very well. What's that? What's your name? Do I call you just Technic AI?
Yeah, I'm Ro. I'm the CEO and lead dev of Technic AI. My handle is Ro the Ape on Telegram and Twitter. So yeah, that's me. I thought I'd appear as the Technic AI account just to be a bit more professional, So
yeah.
Thanks for having us on.
The floor is yours, brother.
Cool, thanks. I just want to quickly say that project that Phil was talking about sounds awesome. You just had me at free beer. Like I was sold from then on. That's all you needed to say for me. In all respect, it sounds awesome. I haven't really seen something like that before. So anyway, I'm Ro. I'm the CEO and lead dev of Technic AI. I guess like a brief background around me. I've been a forex trader for nearly a decade. I've got a bunch of development experience and background that's given me the skills to be able to develop a project like this. So Technic AI is we're a project that has developed an AI-assisted trading system. And so we've developed it primarily to work on the foreign exchange market, because that's purely just where my skill comes in. And so what we're going to be doing with the profits from the trading system is we're going to be splitting half of the profits to be put back into the trading treasury to grow it long term. And the other half of the profits will be put back into the crypto side, the token of the project. And in phase one, we'll be using those profits for buybacks and burns to reduce the supply of the token, to give holders more value for what they're holding, and also give the project a good leg up to start with. We will move into phase two of the project, where we will be changing the profit from the trading operations to be into something like rewards or something like that. So yeah, as a broad overview, it's a relatively simple project. We generate money from the trading operations of our AI enhanced trader, and we're just going to be putting it back into the crypto side. So yeah, so we have done a private raise for this. Wasn't public. It was just done through like closed groups and stuff like that. It was about 33 or 34 ETH so far. We're going to be using that to do the initial funding for the treasury. At the moment, we've got about, I think we'll be able to fund it with a minimum of about $30,000 to start with, and we should have a starting market cap of around 300,000 US. That is excluding whatever we generate on launch for launch tax. I'm really hopeful that we'll be able to generate at least 100,000 US dollars to fund the treasury with, and that will just ensure that the project has a nice head start on the profits that we generate, because it will have that compounding effect. So the system is currently live. It's been operating since the start of the year. We've got we publish all the trade history and results on the website. We also put them in the Telegram and on the Twitter each week. We've been developing the website a lot more, so we've got a lot more detailed trade history on there. Yeah, the whole and the system has been pretty reliably generating about between 2 and 4% per week this year, and that's per asset. At the moment, we're only using the system on the Euro US dollar, which is a Forex currency pair, but we have been doing a lot of testing on other assets as well, which have been showing really promising results. Yeah, so all of the software, the AI, and the automation and the trading system, it's all been developed completely in-house. I've done all that myself. We haven't leased any software off anyone else, so it's all proprietary and owned by Technic AI. Yeah, so we will be, yeah, the private sale has closed. It closed on Wednesday, and we're just wrapping that up and doing our final calculations to sort of see where the starting liquidity will be, and how much we'll be able to fund the treasury with that initial cash injection. Yeah, so with the tokenomics, it's a relatively straightforward setup. We've just got a total supply of 1 million. Ongoing tax after launch will be 5.5. Launch tax will be about 30, just to generate enough to be able to do more funding into that treasury. The distribution is, we've got 40% going to the seed round, 10% is locked liquidity, 10% is team tokens vested over a year. We've got supply set aside for central exchange funding, rewards, and marketing. We've done everything in our power to fully set this project up in a way that gives it its best chance at success, to be as scalable and grow it as much as we possibly can without it being limited in any way. So we're doing everything we possibly can to allow that to sort of just let it run free if you know, the stars align and it does work. I'm very confident that it will be a major player in this space, because I've got a lot of professional experience in foreign exchange, and I've seen a lot of you know, trading related projects come and go. Yeah, so another part of what we're doing to ensure its long-term viability is we've actually registered as a free zone company here in the UAE because they've got much more favorable tax laws than my native country, which is Australia. And the Australian government's very greedy with stuff like this. So yeah, we thought it was a no-brainer to sort of set up here. And so yeah, we've been approved for our trade license and everything like that. So everything's pretty much set up and ready to go. We'll be able to do the initial treasury funding with the corporate bank account, so we don't get exposed to the Australian tax law. Yeah, so that's pretty much it in a nutshell. As a just backtrack and just reiterate that what we are is it's a trading company that we're going to be putting the profits from our trading system back into the crypto token, and that's how holders will benefit from holding our token. And further down the line, we're going to open up the decision to the community to see what they want to do with the profits that are put into the buybacks and burns. So they might vote on whether it be changed to be distributed through rewards or something like that. So token holders will be able to profit and earn income in different ways based on what the community wants. So yeah, that's the 5-10 minute elevator pitch. I'm pretty sure I ran through everything. There's a lot more sort of deeper technical detail in this project, but like I said at the start, it's like on its surface level, it is a relatively simple setup. But in saying that, you can go into a lot more detail because it's got the whole Forex and free zone company as well as the AI and automation aspect.
Awesome. Appreciate that presentation there, Ro. It's pretty straightforward. Now, you were saying you already have trade history. How many trades have you made so far?
Oh, I haven't actually counted them all, but it generally takes between 1 and 5 or 6 or sometimes 20 or 30 trades a day. So it trades on a short time frame. It's not a high frequency trading system. You can stay in a trade between 5 minutes and an hour or up to several hours. So, each week, each week we take probably on average like 20 trades, I'd say. So yeah, just do the math and work out that way. But yeah, like I said, on average we generate between 2 and 4% per week, and that's been pretty consistent since the start of the year.
Pretty straightforward, yeah. Pretty on the upward there, 2 to 4% weekly. Pretty positive. Now, how long has been active now on the trades? You said at the beginning of the year?
Yeah, since the start of the year. So I have also received legal advice regarding this project. It was one of the first steps that I did take. And unfortunately, the trade history that is published on the website, I was advised to actually classify that as for educational purposes only. But that's purely just to protect Technic AI and the team and any clients and stuff like that from anything that does happen. As soon as we do fund the treasury on an official level, we will be able to officially publish verifiable trade results, and we don't have to classify them in that regard. So yeah, it's all there on the website, and we've been as detailed as possible with the results that we've been generating.
Okay, very good. Now you got 50% going to the buyback, burns, and rewards, and 50% going to treasury. And did I hear that you will eventually switching it down to 30-30?
So yeah, they're different things. So the 50% being used for the treasury and the 50% going to buybacks and burns, that's from the profits that are generated by the foreign exchange trader. The 30-30 that I mentioned, that's what we're going to have the launch tax set at. So for the token, the smart contract, on buys and sells will be 30-30 at launch for probably 20 minutes or something like that. And then that will be reduced to be 5-5 buy and sell forever. And the contract's set up in a way that it can never be over 5-5 once it has been reduced. I have also KYC'd with Trust Network, and the contract has been audited by Assured DeFi and CoinSalt.
Okay, yeah, very good. Let's break down that 5 and 5 there, Ro. What's that in and out going to?
Yeah, so I think it's 2% to development and 3% to marketing. Like I said, we've done everything entirely in-house. So the development feeds are coming to the developers for the project, which is me and part of the team. And yeah, the other 3% marketing is what we're going to be using, to just use for whatever kind of marketing we deem appropriate for this kind of project moving forward. We've already actually gained a fair few partners in the marketing aspect. We prefer to use like agencies and stuff like that over, classic KOLs and callers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And your team tokens that you'll have will be vested, I assume?
Yeah, of course. Yep, they'll be vested over the course of 1 year, and they'll be unlocked incrementally as opposed to one big chunk. But like we've spent so much time developing and creating this project that I'd honestly be crazy to sell them within before I've managed to push this project as far as I possibly can.
Let's talk about the milestones here. It looks like we've got a few things ready here. When's public launch?
So we're going to be launching on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday on the 23rd of July. We haven't locked in a time yet, but it will be at a good time to launch, so a very high traffic time to give the project a lot more.
Very good. Oh, pretty straightforward here, Ro. I mean, very nice project that you made here. How about going down the road a little bit, Q4 or even next year? What's the plans for there?
Yeah, so good question. At the moment, we're just crazy busy because it's the whole launch phase period, and I've been doing a lot of AMAs and stuff like that, so we haven't been doing our normal development of the project. But as soon as the dust does settle, we will be getting straight back into that. So like I briefly touched on, we have been doing testing on other assets to train the AI and the trading on. The way that the system does work means that it's quite transferable over different charts and different assets, because it's primarily based on like a technical analysis style trading system. We will, over time, once the testing is proven like good enough to actually publish the results, we will be including those in the actual trading operations. And we will also be further developing the actual AI aspect of the project, because there's just so many different ways you can apply that to the system and to this kind of project. But in saying that, we don't want to spread ourselves too thin, because I'm a big believer of finding something that you're really you're good at and just doing it really well, because I reckon there's a lot more value in that, rather than just trying to find a lot more shiny new things for people. And another thing that we will be doing is we'll be making a signals group for holders of the token, whether it be like a tiered system of having access through holding the tokens, or a subscription based through paying with ETH or something like that, because that's pretty much something we can incorporate for free, but is also another revenue generation model that we can incorporate. We do have several other plans for way further down the track if we do decide to pivot into those areas, but those other things require kind of different business models and associated licensing that comes with that sort of stuff.
Right. Pretty straightforward. How about any partnerships, Ro? Is there anything that you could speak on yet for partnerships that you have or looking to get?
So we've got. Originally, actually, no, I won't talk about that. It's a quick pitch. I get carried away rambling sometimes. But we do have a few partnerships with other tokens. We haven't actually properly announced them yet, and neither have those other projects, but they are sort of just mutually beneficial partnerships that we're able to provide value for them, and vice versa, for sort of similar related things to us. We've done several AMAs now. I think we're up to maybe 7 or 8. They've all been done in private groups that will now be supporting us long term. and along with that comes with, you know, us being able to sort of share all of our updates through all of those groups and stuff like that. So yeah, we do see a lot of value in those groups because they're full of people that aren't just finding their way to us through a public forum. Another one of the things that we're happy with is the private raise we were able to do. We didn't use a launch pad or anything like that. We didn't really want to do that because that would include a lot of sort of, you know, randoms from the public, and we'd rather use our networks of you know, highly connected people to be in on the raise to give it more of a head start, so to speak. So yeah.
That's very smart. Word of mouth. Yep, that'll take you far. You got it if you got the right way. Now, Technic AI, you're currently trading on just USD and euros, you were saying, correct?
Yeah. So because my experience is with Forex, that's where we've started the trading. We're officially only trading the Euro US dollar at the moment, which is fine. Like, even if we just trade the Euro US dollar forever, we'll still be able to generate profits for this project. But like I said, we will be looking into other assets as time goes on.
Very good. I like it, Ro. Good presentation here. One last question I'm going to ask you is, if you could choose one thing that you would say brings your investors most value of the project, what would it be?
Yeah, no one's actually asked me that before, and you asked that other guy, and my first thought went to, I would say, the profitability of the actual trading system. I guess that's coming from a bit of a technical aspect. But the more I sort of think about it, I think the experience, expertise, and the passion of the team is probably what actually drives that. Because, you know, you can have a good system, but if you don't have the motivation and drive to be able to actually push this sort of thing, then it's not really going to go far. So yeah, I think the dedication and passion of the team to follow through with the project is definitely one of the most valuable things that we can provide for the customers and holders.
Well said. It's definitely one of the biggest things that I look for when I'm looking into a project as well, is looking at the team and their background, because ultimately that's who you're investing in. So well said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool. Thanks. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak here, and I hope I did it well enough. I tend to often ramble on in different directions, so it's been a good practice for me to try and stay focused on what's important. But yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. I really do appreciate the opportunity.
You did great, Ro. I appreciate it. And if you could just choose one random participant out of our listeners here, grab that name, send it to me in a DM. That's going to be one extra winner as well.
Yeah, fantastic. I definitely will.
Thank you, Ro.
All right. Thanks, guys. Talk soon.
Bye-bye. Okay, next up we have Spict with Crypto Fred. Hey, Fred.
Hey, thanks, Mike, and thanks everybody for being here. Fantastic job to Ro and Technic AI, and then of course Beer Punk. I always love to think about potential connections and opportunities to connect in the space. I find that when you're in a space where AMAs are done in such a way where you can really grab kind of the essence of projects, it's really valuable. So thanks for the design in this way. So I have, for my own thinking, a little bit about Technic AI and Beer Punk to think about, and I'll be reaching out to both of you guys for potential opportunities moving forward. So Spict. My name is Fred Endy. I'm one of the 3 founders of Spict, along with 2 good friends, Max, who is our systems and ops lead, and Johan, who is our smart contract dev. I'm basically the relationships, partnerships, negotiations guy, and the 3 of us are gamers, sports lovers at heart, and Spict is an innovative PredictFi project where our purpose is to really rethink what BetFi and PredictFi looks like in the space. And so we started in December 2022. We've been building since then. We launched our current token, DAOG, back in October, and we'll be migrating from ETH main to Polygon between the end of August and beginning of October. And I'll talk a little bit more about that when we talk roadmap and next steps. So what's our purpose? Well, Max, Dylan, and I love to game. We love to engage in predictions, primarily around sports. We've been in that space for a really long time and love the energy that comes from doing that with other people. And during the heart of the bear, we were seeing a proliferation of BetFi and PredictFi projects, which were all modeled around like an online casino format. And as we explored some of them on our own and were kind of invested in some and participants in some, we kind of felt that what that niche of the space needed was more opportunities for community engagement. It often would feel for us that we would get involved with some of these portals, right? And it would feel like you were kind of like sitting by yourself in an empty casino, like making these bets, whether it was through a Telegram bot or in a separate portal. And we wanted to rethink how the space was designed. And so PredictFi projects really have to overcome a few key problems. And I want to share a little bit with you about how we're doing that. The first is kind of focused around legal and licensing. You know, if you're going to operate something as a quote unquote casino, as you scale, you're really going to need to look at some of the licensing elements and some of the legal aspects if you really want to scale appropriately, right, and incorporate legally. And so for us, one of the things that we wanted to do was avoid another like online casino structure. So we exist instead as a subscription service, much like you would think of a Spotify or Pandora in the music world. Users subscribe to kind of Spict's DApp, right? And that provides access to different elements of what we've built out. And the DApp is live now. You can check it out at dapp.spredict.io. We have a number of different elements which you can engage in, and I'll share that briefly, right? But so by moving towards a subscription platform, it allows us to think a little bit differently about how we scale and also allows us to create opportunities for people to engage in games that are different from standard one-off betting. Another key challenge for any PredictFi project is heavy transaction fees, right? If you are constantly validating transactions, regardless of the chain you're on, you're going to need to accumulate costs to do that. And if you only want, for instance, to spend $1 on any type of prediction, then you're going to struggle with high transaction fees depending on the chain you're on, right? And so what we did is we built our DApp on our own proprietary blockchain, right? It's the Spict blockchain, right? Testnet. And so our DApp lives there, which allows us to offer truly free to play, right? So you can connect to our DApp. Right now, you can make predictions for tomorrow's F1 Grand Prix in Hungary, right? We have F1 games available now, as well as soccer or football, depending on where you are in the world. But so you can connect your wallet. You will receive a free Spict token, right, which you'll use to validate your picks. And you incur no costs to do that. That's the benefit of us creating the DApp on our own blockchain, right? And then the third piece, the third challenge, projects run into what we in the space like to think of as bet creep, right? It's the idea that if you want to scale, you have to keep creating more and more betting opportunities so you bring in more and more money. And what eventually happens is you get so big that there's not as much for people to engage and talk about because everybody ends up betting on different things. And again, you feel kind of like you're by yourself in a sports book, right? Instead, what we wanted to do was recreate the design of gaming elements for PredictFi in a way that really pushed people to use more game theory and more critical thinking as they engaged. So if you log on to our DApp and you check out our F1 game called Clash of Champions, you're not just picking the person who will finish first in the Grand Prix. You know, if you're an F1 fan, you could safely guess Max Verstappen for any Grand Prix and likely in many cases be in the money. But instead, you have the list of the 20 racers in a given Grand Prix. For each team, there are 2 racers. You have to pick which of the 2 racers will finish ahead of their partner. So it's simple switches to the kind of like thinking mechanics within predictions that allow us to separate ourselves from what's out there. We just ran a Euro tournament, and you were picking, will team A win? Will team B win? Will it be a draw? But that wasn't it. We used on-chain data to show people which way the crowd was voting, right, as what picks people were making. And if you selected the team or the choice, right, that was the favorite, and that choice was correct, you earned 1 point on our leaderboard. But if you made a contrarian pick and you were correct, you earned either 2 or 3 points. So there are ways to utilize elements of the blockchain in a way that feels very different than just a glorified online casino that uses cryptocurrency, right? So that's a little bit about who we are and how we operate. Our current token, DAOG, was launched in October. We will be migrating to a new token, SPI, which will be on Polygon. Moving to Polygon will help us significantly. One of the key components of kind of like our philosophy is that we want everybody to be able to make predictions, earn SPI, and do so in a way that won't cost them an arm and a leg. Right now on ETH main, particularly as we get into more bull market structures, it makes sense for us to move off to an L2 where those costs will be lower. Max and Johan, who are real kind of like tech heads on the core team, love Polygon, both for its kind of like developer-friendly structure and also because it's such a well-developed chain. And so we'll be launching SPI between the end of August and beginning of October. Right now, there is a migration going on. Our migration window is open, and holders, current investors who migrate between now and the 26th of July will end up getting a token bonus. And so anyone who also invests will get that token bonus as well. Just to tell you a little bit about SPI, when we launch, 5% of those tokens will go to the team. We are looking at a total of 144 million tokens. So 5% to team. We have done a small raise with some KOLs and some big investors who supported DAOG at the start, raised about $20,000, which we've utilized as a marketing build as we get close to the SPI launch. There will be a separate private sale of 3%, so 5 million tokens, which will launch in mid-August. Then we're looking to use Launchpad for our public sale. We're in conversations with Gempad and a few others. We haven't decided yet the way we'd like to go with that, but we do have some time. In terms of roadmap and kind of next steps and where we're going to be going, one of the things that I loved hearing both prior teams talk about is kind of like the importance of strong team dynamics, right? And so the three of us really look at Spict's growth in years rather than months or weeks, right? We're a proper utility in the sense that we're building constantly and kind of really see our growth way into the future. And one of the really awesome aspects of what we're building is there's so many ways to scale when you are engaging in predictive markets, right? So right now, next week, as the Olympics get started, we'll open up a free-to-play tournament for Olympic soccer, men's and women's, right? So you'll be able to play, make predictions, earn some SPI ahead of our launch for doing that. As we get into September, we'll be starting our NFL pools, right? And so we'll open those up for traditional team picks and then also some different style games. We're developing the mechanics and architecture for one where you'll be provided with 4 different players in the same position. You'll have to pick the 2 that in a given game week earn the most, let's say, rushing yards, out of the total 4. And then as we get into October, we'll be scaling out our NBA pools. So part of the goal is to give people around the world, right, a variety of different sports games to engage in that they can then subscribe to. to have access to not only just free-to-play experiences, which will always be part of our identity, but predict-to-earn experiences where they can earn more prizes and more tokens. And then just the last bit beyond that, once we're on, Polygon will be creating our staking platform. Investors will be able to stake SPI for token rewards. We also have an NFT structure that we used for launch liquidity for our initial token that will be activating again. NFT holders will be able to stake for our new native token, SPI, and they'll also have access to separate tournaments that only holders will be able to participate in. And the last bit I'll share before kind of just being mindful of my time and kind of stopping there is that we're also going to be looking to build out a Discord bot as well as an iframe that will utilize with projects to provide access to the pools within our DApp without requiring users who are engaged in different projects to go separately to our DApp. And we'll build some project partnerships around those uses where projects will also be able to generate revenue from their members making predictions within our Discord bot and within the underlying architecture of our DApp. So that's a little bit about us.
Awesome presentation there, Fred. I like it. It sounds very intriguing. And you said that you were going to have a subscription. Is that going to be a paid subscription?
It will, yeah. So you will always be able to predict via Spict free to play. That will always be an element, and you'll be able to earn small amounts of SPI just by making correct picks. So even if you don't want to spend any money, you'll always be able to engage in micro winnings using free to play. But for those who want a elevated tier of prizes and opportunities, there'll be a monthly subscription cost that players will spend in order to access that paid tier within our DApp. And it will also provide access to additional game modes that aren't available in free to play.
Okay. Have you guys put a number to what that's going to cost per month there yet, Fred?
Yeah, so we're going to have a number of different tiers, right? Because we always want to make it as accessible as possible. Right now, our current thinking is we'll have free to play, we'll have a $5 per month, we'll have a $20 per month, and a $50 per month.
Okay. And what about between these tiers? Like, say, if I wanted to get it all for $50 a month,
yeah.
What can I do with that?
Exactly. So if you are paying, let's say, $50 per month, you'll actually have access to participate in all of the tiers at the lower monthly rate. So the more that a person subscribes, the greater the access they'll have. And so if you are a paid user, that will provide you with access to additional predictive gaming and game modes, right, within our DApp for the sports and opportunities we have available. And it will allow you to claim greater prizes based on the points you have on our leaderboard at the conclusion of every month.
Okay, very good. Now, me as a user, I'm coming onto it and I see a game coming up, but I want to predict, I want to bet on it, but I don't see it in your DApp yet. Can I create it? Can I create my own prediction pool?
Yeah. So one of the things that we're looking at towards, and the way we've scaled out our roadmap, it likely will not be until Q1 2025, right? I think with football and with basketball and getting those live in September, October, and into November, right? We're really thinking Q1 of 2025. But a key component of our architecture is allowing people to create custom pools for their own groups, whether it be their projects, their lounges, right? And so you would be able to utilize the architecture that exists within our DApp. You'd be able to build out some of the components of a prediction pool that you'd like, right? And then you'd be able to offer it to your own network. And you could do that, of course, for free, right? Or you could monetize it and run it on your own in a truly decentralized fashion, right? So you'd pay us to create it. We would provide it to you. We would run the back end as well, right? So we can provide you with the data on winners, and then you would do whatever you wanted with it. So absolutely, that's a key part of what we're looking to scale to.
Awesome. Okay. Fred, now is sports going to be obviously the main objective here, what you guys are going to be going on for predictions here, but is going to be anything outside of sports eventually? Maybe betting on crypto prices, betting on, let's say, gamers?
Yeah. So as we roll into 2025, we'll be expanding to making crypto market predictions too. We actually had launched a kind of like an MVP, a real base bone structure of our DApp back about a year ago, just for a test run. And we had done it around crypto price prediction, and it worked out really, really well. So we're looking to get that open back up and allow people to do that. And then we will also do some kind of like real world, cultural, social elements too. You know, we've got, of course, the presidential elections coming up in November, right, in the US. But we'll incorporate some additional elements. We did it was a test pool, right, of SBF, right, and having people guess what his jail time would look like, right? And so we can create all of those structures in place, because the amazing thing about the app's design is once you have the architecture for, let's say, a 3-pick structure, right? Team A, Team B, or a draw, let's say in soccer, you can replicate that 3-pick structure across anything that could have 3 potential pick options. So we can scale beyond sports, beyond crypto, right, to social elements too.
That's very interesting. I like that. Now, you did say that you wrapped up a Euro 2024 prediction here. How many people did you have in that prediction?
Yeah, so for our first tournament, we had 250 unique wallets participating in the free-to-play. We ended up allocating, over the course of that tournament, about $20,000 in prizes in SPI, which will be awarded to people when we launch. We also ran a paid tier, kind of as like a test run. And so of that 250 wallets, 60 of them also engaged in the paid tier. So there is a basically test capacity for that to work. Obviously, our hope and what we'll need to do for maximum growth is scale that. But we feel pretty comfortable that as we get more exposure and we offer more games, we'll be able to grow both the free-to-play, right, and then also the paid tier participants.
Very good. Okay. Now, you talking a little bit back on the token here. You're going to be migrating. What's the token that's currently live? What's that market cap and the reasoning for needing to migrate?
Yeah, so the market cap right now is about, I believe, 200K. We had an all-time high of about 450K. And the reason we're migrating is mostly because we feel that if we are going to offer microtransaction claiming to our community, then we have to move off ETH main, right? And so let's say, for instance, that you only ever want to play free to play. And so you're going to participate in free to play. You're going to generate, let's say, 5 cents for every correct pick you make. And so over the course of a week, you end up making, let's say, $1.50, right? And so you want to claim those SPI and add them to your wallet. If we are not on an L2, the idea of claiming anything less than, $10, $15, $20 at a time is going to be a real challenge, right? So for us, relaunching on Poly will allow people to take advantage of microtransactions, not have to feel like they have to be big investors or big players in order to claim their winnings, and allow us to build out a staking platform as well, which will allow us to make SPI accessible to everybody.
Awesome. Great answer there, Fred. Now, I do see on the roadmap here that you have NFTs that you're going to be making. Are those currently in making? Are they made? And what kind of functionality will they have?
Yeah, so right now, there are about 100 NFTs that exist. We utilize those to build launch liquidity for our current token, DAOG. And what they will allow holders to do is to stake those NFTs to earn SPI. We have about 20% of our token supply set aside for community rewards, of which that will be a part. What they'll also allow people to do is participate in separate tournaments only for NFT holders with separate prize pools. You'll be able to mint them on an annual basis, right? And so the idea is that for those who wanted to engage in the Spict ecosystem in a slightly more close-knit way, you'd mint an NFT, you'd be able to stake for SPI, would also give you access to smaller prize pools, and would give you access to helping decision-making around the growth of the project moving forward.
Oh, very good. Now, Fred, if I had to ask you what you feel would separate you from other similar tokens and projects, what would you say that is?
Yeah, thanks. So I think there are a couple things. One is the design of our games. It's pretty rare in the PredictFi space to find games that are different than like pick A or pick B, right? So our game mode designs incorporating some strategic thinking and game theory or something that's separate certainly sets us aside. Also, the true incorporation of the blockchain into prediction elements, right? You would not be able to effectively utilize the game modes we've created separate from the blockchain, right? So when I was talking about our Euro tourney, we have built in this favorite feature, right, where the data that is on the chain from predictions people have already made, right, allows you as a user to identify who the community favorite is based on your pick then, right, determines how many points you earn. So true incorporation of the blockchain as opposed to just a, let's say, a predictive gaming structure that incorporates cryptocurrency. We're much, much more than that. So those would be two elements, I would say, really separates us from the rest of the crowd.
Okay, very good. I like that. Now, you have just the Euro that's passed so far, the Euro 2024. You have F1 upcoming. Now, if I wanted to bet on the upcoming F1, what is the longest, or should I say, what's the word I'm looking for? If I wanted to bet on it and it's like starting in an hour, do I have that time to still bet on it? Can I bet on it while the race is started? What's the time frame of when the last bet can get input?
Absolutely, yes. So as of right now, in all of our games, there is an hour buffer period between the start of a match, a race, etc., for when the pools close. So if let's say a Euro match were going to start at 4 p.m. Eastern time, right? It's currently 3:06 Eastern time. You would have just missed the cutoff for that pool. We do that for a couple reasons. One is because we always want to provide a buffer so we don't run into any issues with picks being recorded on chain and then the start of a game. We also do it that way because at the current time, right, all of the validations for picks are happening manually, right? And of course, as we scale, we need to incorporate oracles and other elements that are going to allow us to automate it, right? But for the time being, because they are manually automated, it requires Johan and Max and me and other members of our team to check and make sure that everything is set.
And as it should be, very good there, Fred. I like the whole structure. You know, it sounds like you got a good team there behind you, and I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on it and see what some of these more bets come up, and maybe I'll jump in one.
Awesome.
Now, one thing I will ask you, Fred, like I asked the other teams, if you could choose one thing that you would say brings your investors most value, what would that be?
Yeah, thanks, Mike. I would say it's going to be a similar answer to what you've heard from your two other project participants, which made me smile as I was listening to them share. It's really the structure of our team, the commitment we have to the work, and what that has allowed for us to build as a larger community. We, the three of us, have been in the space for a decent amount of time. Max and Johan since 2017. I've been in the space since 2020. And that's allowed us to really learn a lot about structures, as well as kind of like how to run a project in a way that supports effective growth and also supports the people who are involved. So I think we've built Spict to be a community-focused project where people can trust that we'll be developing for a long time, right? And that we have their best interests at heart. And I think those are the types of things that, are so important in the space to help give people the trust, right? That there are really people who are looking out for them. So that's what I would say.
Awesome. Great answer there, Fred, and a great presentation there as well. One last thing I'm also going to ask you, like I asked the other guys, is to pick one random winner through the participants here and send me in a DM their username. That way we can also get them paid out.
You got it.
Appreciate it. Well, that was a great presentation from all three projects today, guys. Back in our Telegram chat room, I did pin all of the information with links to each project that was in today on the Eagles Den. If you like what you heard, of course, there's Neville Financial Advice. Go check it out for yourself. Do further research, and you guys can go from there. I want to give a big thanks to Fred, Technic AI, and also Patrick and Phil for coming in today. That's going to wrap it up here for the Eagles Den. Stay tuned. Also, we're going to have a YouTube giveaway as soon as that's posted. I'm also going to get that copy over to you, Fred, you, Ro, and you, Patrick, as well. It was a great day. Great day. I appreciate you guys coming in today.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Oh, also, I almost forgot here too. In a few hours, I'm going to post up a poll from the three projects in today. Once it's up, you can have the community vote on the poll for whoever project was liked the most over a 3-day course of voting. The winner will win a full AMA with us here at USA Crypto Group. Looking forward to it.
Game on.
Game on.
Let's go.
All right, guys. That's going to wrap it up. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Appreciate it.